You're listening to the Lost Geographer Podcast, and this is episode 25 on Iceland.
In our modern globalized society, understanding geography and culture is crucial if you want to succeed in life. Unfortunately, many people are still unaware of the world around them, which is fueled by media that are focused only on profits, clicks, and promoting agendas rather than providing accurate information. Here at the Lost Geographer, we aim to promote geographic and cultural literacy through education and travel by bypassing the media. We have guests who talk about their own countries from a native perspective, travellers telling their stories and lessons, and related topics that will aid you on your journey towards geographic and cultural literacy. Get the raw, candid truth about the world we live in and understand your place in it. Because at the end of the day, it's your world. Own it.
Hey everybody, so while this podcast and site do increase your geographic and cultural literacy, the best way to attain literacy is through travel. Now, I understand that many people think traveling is expensive and stressful, and understandably so. However, it doesn't have to be this way. Traveling can be cheap and relatively stress-free if you know the right places to look for flights and already have an understanding of common travel mistakes. If you want to learn how, check out The Ultimate Guide to Smart Budget Traveling. It's a video course that will teach you how to save hundreds on your next vacation and thousands throughout your life by showing you how to make different rewards programs work for you and introduce you to sites that have prices you could have only dreamed of. I will show you how I've done things such as book transatlantic and transcontinental flights in the US for less than $10, and how I don't pay ATM fees anywhere in the world and withdraw money according to the exact exchange rate and not get ripped off. Want to learn more? Check out literacy.thelostgeographer.net for more information. Consider it an investment to learn how to invest in experiences to become geographically and culturally literate. Again, you can find it at literacy.thelostgeographer.net. Hey everybody, welcome to the Lost Geographer Podcast, where our goal is to promote geographic and cultural literacy. It's your world, own it. I'm your host, Rohit Amruther, founder of the Lost Geographer. You can find us at www.thelostgeographer.net. And this week, I'm excited to have the first of the Nordic countries, the Scandinavian countries, and I'm here with Sigurdur from Iceland. How are you doing, man?
We're doing good, thank you.
Awesome. So, do you want to go ahead and start off and like we normally do and tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and where all you've lived?
Sure. As you say, I'm Sigurdur, and I am electrician. I'm working here in the Reykjavik, but I'm not from the capital area. I'm actually from Valey. It's called Lundareykjadalur, or if you pronounce it in English, Puff and Smoke Valley. It's about 1 hour driving north of Reykjavik, and it's a nice valley. It's around 50-60 people that live there. And when I was finished my electrician in Akranes, it's my college, I went to Reykjavik and worked for a power company, like in a high voltage cable, like 11 kilowatts and subnet station. And then I went to the company I'm working today as an electrician and doing good jobs. A lot of work and many things happen in the economic today. Yeah.
What are some manners and etiquette that you observe in Iceland that you notice maybe foreigners when they come, they don't observe this etiquette, or they just, that you know maybe from what you've seen on TV or something about how other people behave in other countries?
Yeah, it's very easy to see if people are tourists in Iceland because everyone has a camera, but that's that's a common thing. But if you definitely see if the guy or the person is not from here, that she is more up-dressed than the other people around here because they're more cold. Like, they're in jacket in 16 to 7 degrees when we are on t-shirt, and we are why you're up-dressed is sunshine and you can be on t-shirt. So that's the first thing we can see if the person is not around from here. So yeah, you can spot the tourists quite easily.
What about behavior? Are you guys more reserved than other people, or are you more outgoing?
I think we're more outgoing. I mean, we are kind of friendly people because no one actually knew about us and people did not pronounce name, or people did not know about us. If you were in Europe, the Iceland wasn't even on the weather map. It just didn't take it to be here. But after 2010, it just like happened, like the point of no return that people know about us, people trying to pronounce the name Eyjafjallajökull and stuff like that. And I think it's a good thing. Maybe it's like too fast on very short time, but I think it's okay. It's more like, I feel like I'm more an international city right now. We have like now walking street in Reykjavik. We hadn't that before, but it's actually quite nice. So I think we are still learning, like it can try our patience, but I think we will manage it. Yeah.
I see. So let's say like I'm walking down the street in Reykjavik. Can I go up and start a conversation with someone, or is that
definitely yes. Yes, definitely. I mean, they will, yes, they will like ask you. They don't say like, "Hey, leave me alone." I mean, why not just go up and ask? Sure.
Okay, yeah, because I know in other Scandinavian countries, people tend to be more reserved, like in Sweden, Norway. That's what I've heard, at least.
Well, it can always like depend on the people and where you're from. So, well, I cannot like judge on that. So,
moving on. So, what is the business climate like there? So, let's say, I wanted to do business in Iceland. What is the current economy like? And if I were to do business with an Icelandic person, how would I do it? Would I be straightforward? Would I take a little bit more time? How would it go?
The business environment now is actually quite good. You can start programming company is very popular right now. If you like have some skills in programming, then you can definitely like get a loan in a bank and try to start your own company. And yeah, that's like to start like a programming company is actually quite good here. But if you want to be like bigger on like a global scale, then it's actually quite hard because we have Icelandic krona, their currency. So if you like selling products to other country, you are getting less money in Icelandic currency than what they're actually paying for it. So it's very good to like start your own business, but to get something really big, it can be really, really hard. So, but if you like looking for a job, then it's very popular to like building houses or try to build houses, like be a, plumber is like really hard to get a plumber today. And of course, if you're in tourist business, people can always, we need more people in tourist business right now. So like be a guide or driver or clean the hotels or stuff. So that's the thing that it's like happening in the economic now. So yeah, people can come here and work. I mean, that won't be a problem. If you know like two languages like English and Germany, then you're really, really good at it. Then it won't be much problem. No.
And so when you say programming company, do you mean like a tech startup?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, if you have like some interesting products, then come and definitely. Yeah.
All right, cool. So now let's say I wanted to do business with an Icelandic person. So can I be straightforward, or do I have to, have long talks, go out for lunch or something, things like that?
I think it's like straightforward and honesty. I think that is like that I want to know what is your goal? What do you want? But how do you like close a deal? I don't know. If you have a dream or somehow you should go like all for it. But how Iceland like manage to function it, I don't know. It's quite hard to like run business and home in our economic environment. It's like quite like up and down. So, but I mean, just walk up and ask again. But it's like selling like a good car. It will fail, but I mean, try again.
All right, cool. And so our next question was, tell us some interesting cultural facts about Iceland. So what kind of cultural things happen in Iceland that you feel like are unique to Iceland and the audience would enjoy learning about?
Oh, that's a very easy one. 97% of Icelandic population believes in elves. So that's,
I read about that.
Yeah, so it's like kind of amazing because people maybe do not believe in elves, but we are not ready to like ignore it because we have more sign and like experiments about elves. Like like the road system. If you can, we're making like a road here in the countryside or in Reykjavik, and they see a big rock. They're going to make a turn from the rock because I think it was 97. They were building a road. They will double the road from Reykjavik to north. There was a big rock on the way, and the working group went to coffee or lunch break or somehow. And after 30 minutes, all the equipment was destroyed, full of sand and water in the machine. It was a police business and everything because it was quite a damage all the tool. And the police said like if you had like 20 to 30 people, it wasn't impossible to get the sand in every came of the machine. So it like said people don't actually believe it, but it's very, very hard to ignore it. So yeah, it can be, you have to like, it's like the own thing about Iceland is like, there's something out there we don't can see it, but you can see like a sign about it. So it's quite hard to ignore it. Also with a troll, I haven't seen a troll, but the landscape of the face in a troll, it's like it explodes your imagination that you can see the faces. And when the people were back here like 700, 1500 or somehow, I mean that's their fairy tale. It's their story. So yeah, the story is in the landscape. So it's all around you. So that is definitely I would like tell other people about the elves and stuff. It's a very nice thing. Yeah.
So what I'm gathering is that you guys are really in touch with your Viking heritage?
Yeah, we have this food festival, as you can call it, in February. It's called Thorrablot. And the story is when we didn't have like refrigerator back a year 1000. So we have to store food by putting in salt and everything. So in the middle of the winter, the food is getting damaged. So people used to eat a lot. So, and we were talking about like different kind of food, like sheep testicle, blood pancake, whale, sheep head and stuff. So it sounds terrifying, but it isn't actually not that bad if you try. But that is like our Viking culture is like, I mean, yeah, like sheep testicle and blood pancakes, you know, it's like a pancake, but instead of milk, you're using blood. So, yeah, that's like a real our Viking thing that we have left today. And maybe beer or somehow. I don't know.
What's your favorite Icelandic beer?
I actually don't like beer very much, but we have like our Icelandic vodka. It's called Brennivin, and I really love that.
Oh, yes, vodka's great. Okay, I have to try that at some point.
Definitely.
So then, other than sheep testicles and blood pancakes, what are some other good food for maybe tourists who aren't so strong in the stomach?
Kleinur. It's like a donut, but more like hard things. It's like a diamond in the shape, like on the cards. And you put it, you baking like it's like a donut, but it's quite harder. Like it's cleaner. It's a very like Icelandic thing to eat. But I mean, they have it in Norway and Sweden also. So if you want to like what is the most Icelandic food, it's eating sheep. So like. Yeah, the lamb meat is quite popular and still popular today. The people and Icelandic family eat it every Sunday. It's like 60% of families like still have this habit today.
I see. Cool. So you eat the sheep and its testicles, so you want to make sure it doesn't have any kids.
The sheep is only once a year to like try like different foods. So yeah.
Cool. That's so interesting. I love that. And real quick, I had a question. I've heard this before, but is it true that in Iceland you can only name your children a certain set of names? Like there's a list of names that you can name your children?
Yes, that is true. So like there's like a group of permission inside the Parliament of Iceland. It's in the news every year. They have a meeting like 2 times a year to decide what this name can be like. Icelandic name is like how you can pronounce it, or does it have like a historical value in the culture of Iceland? And yeah, people are like trying, like one name that you can actually use is it's like a two name. It's like how can I explain? Like Jón Thor, then something so on. It's like you don't tell just like John. You have to say John Wilkham or something like Jack Sparrow. We always say like Jack Sparrow with a both name, but it actually like is two names. And one name that you can name is Mistake.
Oh.
Like us. Don't like with one S. It's like Mistee something. So that's actually quite weird. It sounds right in Icelandic, but it's actually English. So you can actually name your girl Mistake.
Oh wow.
But some people actually like think this commission should like not be working, but it feels kind of weird that government have a list that you can name your son or daughter only this name. So it's a little bit arguing about if it should exist or not. But today it is kind of like a government name list.
What if you're like an immigrant? Can you are you subject to the same list, or do you have to, or can you name your kid something else?
If you're like an immigrant, then of course you will keep your own name. But I'm actually not sure about this. No, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other interesting cultural facts?
Yeah, there's like this word "þetta reddast." It's a two word. It's like this reddast. Reddast mean is I don't know how to solve this problem, but it's going to figure it out somehow, and everything is going to be okay. And somehow it still works today. Like my car broke down, I don't know how to fix it, but it's going to be okay, and somehow it's going to be okay. So that's something is our culture, and I don't know how it works, but it just works, and we don't know how. I mean, reddast, we don't see this word like in Swedish or Denmark or England or somehow. It's like one of the weird things, and I teach other like guests, like you need to know the word reddast, because if you lost your fly or somehow you don't know how to solve the problem, we just say, well, reddast. So it will figure out somehow. It's going to be okay. I don't know how to solve it, but it's going to be okay.
So it's just like you guys are trying not to stress yourself out over something that doesn't necessarily have to be stressful?
Yes. That's kind of a problem because we are really, really bad to like planning and organizing like really, like in time. I mean, we are not like in Denmark that they actually schedule like a family. They have like, it's John's birthday on week 27 and we are going on a summer holiday of week 37. We have no idea how they can do it, and we don't know the system, and we're not going to do it. If we want to do something, we're going to do it now, we're going to do it fast, and we're going to do it big.
Wow, I love that. So you guys are very spontaneous?
Yes.
Are you guys also late often to things, or are you guys generally on time?
Oh, we're not on time, no. I mean, we ain't Germany. It's like... I don't know if it's like bad to say this. I mean, I actually really like Germany. They're really on time, and you can done really things like on schedule, and you can get more project done on time. But be like 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, or somehow. It's even in the university they call it akademisk korter, like academic 15 minutes, and maybe like it's half an hour somehow. So in a house meeting, if there's a house meeting in a block with like 40 people, they all like can wait for this one person who's always late, and that can be really, really frustrating. But it's going to be okay. So we really like relax and planning long time. We are not going no.
How long should someone wait before they get worried? So let's say like you go on a date with an Icelandic girl, and how long should you wait before you start getting worried before she shows up?
Around 20 minutes ish.
So we'll say like half an hour, then you should be worried.
Yeah, I mean, worry about not. I mean, she will probably like text you like 50 times, like if you're coming or not, like even before you show up. But so it's a date, so you should also be like on time. But þetta reddast. It's like if you're late, you don't know how to solve the problem, but it's gonna be okay. So it's like a double coin with the same hat on.
I love it. You use that word so much, that term. How's it? Eteratas?
Yeah, quite good. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Perfect. All right. So moving on to our next question.
Okay.
From what you've seen from other cultures, I know we already talked about this a little bit. You've actually answered this a little bit already, but maybe can you think of something else? How do different cultures compare with Iceland from what you've seen?
I met some people like from Israel and Iran, and some people from like US. And the one difference I noticed was the people, especially from Iran and more like further east than Israel. Israel is like on the bottom in the Middle East, but if you go like further east to this Middle East country, Iran and Pakistan and this thing, they talk really, really close to your face. It feels like they're like threatening you, but they're actually talking to you, so you want that to listen. So that was like the one really culture different that I just learned. So that can be like, well, I can understand like if some guy from Israel or Iran is talking very close to American, he will of course punch him. I mean, I would do the same, but he's actually just talking to you. So that is one of the culture different I think was like really new for me, but I think that this global things is doing like everything is like same, but yeah, that's like the most cultural difference that I have seen. Yeah.
Cool. So what would you say is your absolute favorite thing about your country? What makes you proud to be Icelandic?
Oh, what makes me proud to be Icelandic? I don't know. It's like, I think it's, you can go outside and no one is like bugging you. You can walk on a mountain or somehow. I mean, it's like, we don't have an army. We don't have like Air Force of Iceland. We don't have it. So that I actually quite proud of that. There's like no military bases here, and you can just walk wherever you want to do and be like one. It's like you can be alone and you can see like the whole mountain, and there is not like air pollution. Like I was in Amsterdam and there was like noise all around. So I really like the clear sky and the water. I actually love the water. I feel it is more like thicker in other countries, like in Norway or in Denmark or Netherlands. So yeah, I think that I'm most proud of. Oh, and I love the midnight sun on the summer. We really love the summertime. Yeah, you can be like, if you like, when I was like younger, you can be like outside to like 3 o'clock in the night, but it's still sunshine. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what make me really proud to like grow up here. Yeah.
It sounds very peaceful from what you're describing.
It's really peaceful. Yeah. We are quite like peaceful. Peaceful. I mean, we're not like bothering other people just because. It's like, just don't give this chance like attention. Just leave him alone. He's just doing something he's doing, and just leave him alone, and that's actually quite nice.
So you don't really judge people either?
We did actually judge people before, like 1995. We sent a gay man in Eurovision Song Contest, and people was quite shocked that why we're sending a gay man to the contest. We are trying to like win this competition, but today everyone love him today. He's really good like pop star, and he's doing the gay right thing today. And people say today like, what do you think about gay rights and stuff? And people say like, duh. So we did used to like judge people, and some people are doing it, but I think it's like the generation changed in today, so I think that's a good step. But before, I mean, there's not like a black people here, if I can say like, or let's say like different color people, because people didn't know about Icelandic stuff. So, like in '74, if you saw like a black guy in Reykjavik or Akureyri, it was in the news. So
What?
yeah, I mean that was like '74. So it isn't that far away ago that we were really like isolated. So it's huge change in these 20 years. Yeah.
That's so interesting to know. And so what would you say is the most underrated aspect about Iceland? What do you feel like it doesn't get enough credit for?
Our language. I think the Icelandic language hasn't changed since from year 1000. I mean, I can go to like the National History Museum and see a book from year 1000 or 1200, and I can actually read it. So the language hasn't changed almost nothing like in Norway or Denmark. They have been changing, and in English it hasn't. But the Icelandic language hasn't changed like nothing. So if you see like old books, you can actually understand what they're saying. So that's one of like, well, mystery of Iceland, that we can say it like that.
That's so cool. Because actually that's funny because if you look at Old English looks like Icelandic. Yeah, that's cool that you can read a book from forever ago. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm reading books, like it's tough for me to read books written by Shakespeare, and that was only 500 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit difficult, but I mean, you can manage. I mean, I don't have like a university degree to like trying to read it. I mean, I can understand the letters, and I mean, the book, it's about story. It's about story, how it's their own fairy tale back like in 1200 and stuff. So you learn this story in school and you can actually see it. But the paper actually, the skin is like 800 years old. So yeah.
All right. So going off of that topic, if someone wanted to learn more about Iceland, can you recommend a good book for them? Like it can be fiction or nonfiction.
Yes, I recommend Saga. Saga is like the most like Egil Saga is quite good, and it's tell about like what Iceland is and what it's about, and the story of like our founders and some important people back, like Egil Skallagrímur, what kind of dude he was, and Snorri Sturluson. If you like read that book, you can understand the Icelander and what kind of things that like happened here and the story of the land. So I definitely recommend read Saga. It's really quite a good book. If you want to if you want to watch like really Icelandic movie, like if you want to understand the culture and what we are today, then I recommend the movie. It's called Djöflaeyjan, or The Devil's Island. I really recommend to all like guests of Iceland to see it. Then you can see like how it was like 50 years ago, and the humor and the attitude of the Icelandic people is today. So I would recommend that. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, to the audience, I'm going to put that stuff up on the show notes on the website. Again, just go www.thelostgeographer.net/podcast. And this is episode 25. Everything that Sigurður mentioned, all the books and places and everything will be on the show notes. Just make sure to check that out if you're listening on iTunes or on another platform. But that's all the questions I have for you, Sigurður. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was really interesting learning about Iceland.
Sure, you're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah, so to the audience, thank you for listening in to this episode of the Lost Geographer Podcast. And just remember to tune in next week for more awesome content. Like I said before, we got more country episodes coming, so stay tuned. And until then, it's your world. Own it.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Lost Geographer Podcast. Remember to tune in next week for another episode to aid you on your journey towards geographic and cultural literacy. In order to help spread the word, please rate, review, subscribe, and share the podcast so that we can help create a new wave of understanding in our world. Remember, it's your world. Own it.